So let's talk about distribution. How do we distribute? Well, there's something called cinema on demand. Everything's on demand. Don't you love it? Everything is just upon demand. And one of the ways we can do this is a system that's invented in Brazil. And I know this because I talk to the people. And Brazil is a big country. Australia, of course, is huge, but you have really good roads here compared to Brazil. My mother-in-law was living about 600 kilometers away, and it took us 12 hours to drive there. All right. Each state in Brazil, just like Australia, there's different states, but it's like a different country. You have to pass a military zone. Guns, police, show paperwork and get arrested and pay some money on the table. And for trucks that's driving from Sao Paulo up the way to Natal, where we were living, which is a 4 or 5 day drive, and the roads there. You know, if they didn't have the right paperwork, they had to go back. It was very difficult for things to get moved around. And how can I say it's diplomatic without insulting anybody? Because I love Brazil, but things might not always arrive on time. Let's just say it that way. That's a nice way of saying it. And sometimes things didn't arrive at all. So there you are struggling cinema art house, right? And you're waiting for that film to come in because you got a premiere on Friday and the film doesn't show up. What do? So you say, well, we can't rely on this. So we're going to build a fiber optic network. So they did. They connected all of them together. They went through a company called MovieMops or Rain Networks. You can always Google them later on. MovieMops or Rain Networks. And basically how it works, MovieMops and Rain Networks got out and got the rights to films. And then you could go on these sites. And if you are Raul sitting in Rio, you can go in and say, I want to watch Red Dog, or I want to watch the film about tango or the karate film. But let's just say Raul sits in Rio, he says, I want to watch that film from Australia called Red Dog, providing that Red Dog is now on MovieMops websites or Rain Network sites. So Raul says, great, this is great. Does anybody of my friends on Facebook or Twitter want to watch it with me? And he starts spreading the message out, and sure enough, 1 person, 2 person, 3 person, and suddenly they're 5, they're 10, they're 20, they're 25. I don't know what the number is, depending what his theater is. But if enough people say yes, they go in and say, okay, when should we watch it? They all vote. No, next Thursday at 7 o'clock. Great, where? And they can choose between a selection of cinemas because they're all into this network. And so, yeah, sure enough, should we go in Ipanema and Rio, or should we go Copacabana? You know what, we're going to go in Copacabana. There's a great cinema there. They all vote. They all pull out their credit cards. They pre-buy the tickets, right? Now the theater knows, hey, 25 people are going to show up next Thursday at 7 o'clock. So they start downloading the movie. They start downloading the poster. They print the poster. They put the poster in for you and say, next Thursday at 7 o'clock, we're showing Red Dog. And now these 25 people are now pay for that screening. This is what's called cinema on demand, because think about this. The traditional way of doing it is we hope, right? As I said before, we close our eyes, we roll the dice, and we hope somebody shows up on that Friday, right? Or that Saturday, Sunday. But what's the incentive to show up? There's no incentives. And so the way we've been doing so far is that we have the supply, which is the film. We put the supply out, we hope the demand shows up. Here we do the opposite. We go out and find the demand first. And then we go and combine that with the film.